Hi everyone. I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about some of the miracle stories that are happening right here in our own city, in our own state, every day. My name is Tony Kausha, and the title of our show is Tony's 50,000 Coincidence Miracles. Please note, this show is not about religion, and we're not trying to change anyone's religion, and we're not trying to get you to join any religion. It's just about miracle stories. I don't know of any religion on the planet that doesn't talk about miracles. That's why religions begin, because they have something that's telling them there's really a God. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to just talk about miracles and leave the decisions about all that up to you. So we don't care what religion you are. We just want to talk about miracles. If you are an atheist, I think you'll enjoy the program as well, although I can't guarantee you'll remain an atheist very long after you hear many convincing stories, coincidence kinds of stories about miracles. You can email me your own stories if you wish. We'll try to use all we can on the show. I can't guarantee we will, depending on volume and time, but you're welcome to send your stories on to us, and we will mention them when we can. You can send them to the following email address. But please notice that if we do use your story, we won't mention your name. We'll keep you anonymous. And we suggest that in your story, when you send it to us, don't use your correct name. That way anyone listening will not be able to figure out that it was you that sent the story in. The email address you can send your stories to is very easy to remember. It consists of 2 words and 3 numbers. The first word is Tony, spelled Tony, and the second word is and, spelled AND, and the numbers are 777. So once again, the name is Tony and 777 at AOL.com. Well, let us begin. Our first coincidence miracle today is something that happened to me. I had just posted on Facebook and LinkedIn in response to someone's questions. I just posted that the holy number 444, that's 3 4s, is the number in history that has been often used to signify the presence, the name, the history of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and also 3 4s is used to signify and remind people about the Holy Rosary. So I was responding, and I posted that on Facebook and LinkedIn. And as soon as I posted it, I got a text from someone telling us that they had just gone shopping, and they have a devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. They pray to her often. And they noticed that when they paid their bill, that the slip that came out, the receipt for the payment, ended in the numbers 444. I guess, the bill might have been $44.44, something like that. And the reason why this is all very significant is because I had just posted on Facebook, and 1 second later I got this text from someone, and that wasn't the last thing, because about an hour later I went on the computer to do some banking, and in the process of doing my banking, they wanted to give me a security code number to use to get through as a confirmation of my password, and the security code they sent me was something like XXXX, and the last 3 numbers on it after all of the other numbers was 444. So all of this was happening to me in precise timing, one thing after the other, and that's how we notice coincidence miracles, and that's what my 2 books is about, how when you notice coincidences, if you pay attention, you'll often notice that they're coming from God, and when God is doing things, anything that God does is a miracle, of course. Our next coincidence miracle is quite impressive, I think, and it also follows right after the miracle on 3 4s we just shared. Often as I'm driving to the beach to go and pass out cards, or to public parks to do that, I'll stop at a Subway on the highway, Subway sandwich store, and pick up a sandwich. And so I did that typically, as I usually do, one day. And amazing in what happened, perfect timing. I hope you notice the precision and the timing of all of this, because after I got the sandwich and got to my car, I got in the car getting ready to leave, And as I was about to back up, I saw a car passing behind me, and I caught in the corner of my eye, I saw their license plate. And their license plate simply said Angel444. Just that. It just said Angel444. And I thought, golly, I want to talk to them about what does that mean. I felt, a propensity to contact them. And it turns out all they did was pull past me. They were about to leave, but they stopped, and they stopped right there in the driveway. There were two people in the car, and they were talking, so I got out of my car, walked over to them, and I got to get there before they actually left, pulled out all the way. And I said, golly, guys, can you tell me what that license plate means? I had just gotten information about a miracle I saw with the number 444 recently, and now I see your license plate passing in back of me. It says Angel444. So they explained to me about angel numbers. There are a lot of people who see 3 numbers, and they call them angel numbers, and apparently there are books written about this called Angel Numbers. In fact, they wrote a book, both of them wrote a book called Book of Maps. Let me say that again. Book of Maps, spelled M-A-P-S, like, maps when you're taking a trip, you look at a map. But their book title is called Book of Maps, and it's written by someone famous. It's written by Ernest Thompson. Let me say that again. Ernest Thompson, and Thompson is spelled T-H-O-M-P-S-O-N. And so they told me that there's many stories in there about holy numbers. And also, this person that was in the car, we were talking about it, and I checked Ernest Thompson out. Apparently that's who was in the car. And if you Google it, I think you'll find that he was also the author of the story, or wrote a book about on Golden Pond, which became a very famous movie with Henry Fonda, on Golden Pond. So this was really a miraculous thing, this whole process here. These are reliable people who wrote books and who made movies. So we had a wonderful chat. I told him about my books. I gave him a card of my books and told him about, there's a whole chapter in my book talks about the whole holiness of numbers as well. So we had a great discussion about miracles and the power of God, etc. It was really a very wonderful discussion. And then as we said goodbye, I didn't know if I mentioned to you, but it was him and his wife were both in the car. And his wife said to me, golly, I just noticed on my odometer, the last 4 numbers on my odometer are 444. And we all laughed about that. And we said goodbye. And then I got to my car after they left, and I'm sorry this happened after they left, but I noticed when I got into my car, on my dashboard, it calculates how many miles I have in the gas tank, how many miles I can get out of the remaining gasoline in my gas tank. And it calculated at this particular moment, it said I had enough gas in the gas tank to go 444 miles. So this was a remarkable confirmation. Their odometer said 444. My calculation of miles said 444. They were pulling out of the driveway, and I only caught a glimpse of their license plate in the corner of my eye, in my rearview mirror, by the way. If I wasn't looking in the rearview mirror, I would have never noticed it. And now we know about their book called Books of Maps, and Ernest Thompson, and on Golden Pond. And so this is remarkable. And I wish you could have been with me the rest of the day, because the rest of the day I was traveling a long distance, and I went through 2 intersections later, actually three intersections, where there's a 4-way stop sign, and four cars coming from different directions all stop. Well, I went through 3 of those later in the day, and at each one of them, there was a different car each time, but each car, each time had the number 444 on their license plates. Totally unbelievable story. I know this whole story sounds very unbelievable, but if you'll trust me, I'll tell you it's absolutely true. And if you talk to God every day about what to do. Ask Him to inspire you about what to do. You'll experience things like this every day too. Both books have 100 stories in my book, so that'll convince you these kinds of things happen to people who trust in God and ask God what to do. Our next coincidence miracle is very amazing to me even, and I've been getting miracles every day for 50 years, but this was pretty amazing. I got to the beach and I was passing out cards, and as I do when I pass out cards, I answer people's questions. They want to know what the book is about, and they want to know a lot about how do you spot a miracle and define a miracle, etc. But I met this delightful couple. They were about 25 years old, male, female. They asked a lot of great questions. They were really fascinated. And in the process, I asked them, if they were married or engaged, etc. And they said, "Oh no, we're just friends." And they told me that their friendship now, they became friends. Some were, sounds like it was high school, because they said they're 25 now and they've been friends for 10 years. And they've been great friends. They do a lot of things together. They have a lot of other friends who are dating and engaged and have gotten married since, but no, we're just friends. And I was inspired. I just couldn't get it out of my head. I felt like I was gambling here, but I said, gee, I'm really amazed. I've got to tell you, you are a delightful couple. Your personalities are very, very similar. I mean, you're like bookends. I can't imagine you've been friends for 10 years and you haven't decided to be called dates, that you're dating, that you're serious, that you're a serious couple. I mean, I can't believe it. It just seems to me you're a flabbergasting couple, amazing couple. You're here at the beach, just the two of you, and you've been friends for 10 years, and you don't talk as if you're, going to wind up getting married someday. And it was amazing what happened next, because both of them said to me with deep, heartfelt wording, I got to tell you, this was a stunning moment. They said that they just had a miracle. And I said, what is it? And they said, one of them said, I should have said one instead of they, but one of them said to me, they were just thinking today that they've been friends for so long before I arrived, before I said anything to them. But they were thinking today that, gee, they really have been friends for so long, and they are, matched so well that they really should look at it as not just friends anymore. And when the woman said that to me, the man also said, "Oh my God, I'm so blown away, because I was thinking the same thing today, the same very thing." So I got to tell you, what happened in this moment was they were both being inspired by God. They were getting ideas from God that was telling them they should get more serious and not just consider it being friends, because the best marriage, if you can marry somebody who's been your friend for 10 years, you'll have a fantastic marriage. So they were being inspired. And they didn't realize it until I brought it up and said, hey guys, maybe you should consider that you're not just friends anymore. And then they tell me that both of them were getting those inspirations and thoughts from God. So they were a living example and living proof of what I keep saying to everybody. When you get an idea, oftentimes an idea is a thought from God, because Deo is the Latin word for God. So an idea is like an inspiration. And when you get inspirations or ideas, that's God talking to you. Especially inspired means the Spirit of God is coming into you. So there are three words: idea, inspiration, and intuition. They all mean God is talking to you. Idea is Deo talking to you. Inspiration is the Spirit talking to you. Intuition means God is tutoring you. God bless you all. I'll talk to you next week.